Hey everyone, Dave Menz, Laundromat Millionaire here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and I am bringing you to our newest project. What do you think of our amazing sign? There's our beautiful new store. 9,000 square foot building on the right, separated into 3 sections, and there's a 4-bay self-serve car wash over on the left. The parking for this property is roughly 50 parking spaces. You'll actually see that the awning is actually in okay shape. It just needs some good TLC. So we're planning to probably paint the building a light gray, and then the awning a black to really make our signs pop. As you can see, a lot of work needs to be done on the outside of the property as well as the inside. We're thinking of painting all those bollards, either the traditional yellow or maybe red. Getting all new LED lighting outside the property, and obviously sealing and restriping the parking lot to make it look a lot better. The building has what they say is pretty good bones, so we'll see what we can do with it. As you can see, permanently closed. I posted something the other day that it's taken me 11 years to purchase this, and we closed on the property yesterday. So a lot of you sent me messages asking me to take pictures and videos. So me and my wife Carla are going to take you around and show you this gem. Here we go. Come on in. So the first thing you'll see over here to our left is this beautiful smoking room. What do you think of this? See the vent up there on the wall? This used to be a smoking room back when smoking was allowed indoors, but they had realized that it was starting to cause problems for people's health. So I'm guessing like maybe 80s probably. They had this in here and it had a glass door that sealed. And this was where customers were allowed to smoke once they weren't allowed to smoke in there anymore. And they had a ventilation fan. So apparently that made everything okay. When smoking stopped being allowed in Ohio, they just took the door out and made this kind of a little game room. And these were games that were right here. So as you can imagine, this is all going to be torn out and it'll just kind of open up the place. Smoking room, I bet you don't have one of those. Here's our fancy laundry carts. If anybody's looking to buy one, for sale. I'll make you a good deal. Now let's go check out the dryer area. So as some of you know probably, this was a laundromat before. Only when you look at the outside of the building, the left third of it was laundromat. So if you look at kind of the footprint, you'll see the folding tables that are built in. You'll see the old bulkheads. All the washers were removed. All the dryers were removed. They were probably over 40 years old. And so I actually negotiated on the building purchase, them closing the business down and removing all of the equipment. And believe it or not, that probably saved us $20,000 or $30,000 in demo work and things like that. If you look up, you see the ceiling. They've removed all the lights. They've removed all the Milners that we had on the back wall. There was 6 old Milners back there that were probably pushing 50 years old. But I also want to show you some of the value in buying a commercial property that has a laundromat or had a laundromat in it, even though we're basically going to gut this place down to the studs. So come over here and take a look. See this right here? 2-inch gas line. If you come around this way and you film up high, there's a loop. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but the 2-inch gas line goes all the way up the wall. And then there's a 1-inch loop that runs all the way to the left. The entire length of the dryer runs. If you don't have a loop in your gas line, you should. You can see all the vents. You can see all the electric is here. And yes, most of it will be upgraded, but the fact that the service is here to the building, the penetrations are in the roof. A lot of these vents are actually in pretty good shape. I don't know that I should tap them, they may fall, but looks like we're okay. The gas lines are in good shape. We are going to put new shutoffs on them, but we're going to raise this. Our new stack dryers and 75-pound dryers are taller than the old dryers. And so this gas line needs to be raised like 14 inches, I think it is. And we'll need to raise this wall 14 inches. But what all this is right here, all this right here, all this right here, that's money. It's money. So come on down this way. We'll try not to trip over the debris. And you can see our folding tables and our drains, old bulkheads that were built into the place. And we're going to be ripping all those out. We're getting all new bulkheads. We're cut up the floor, move the drain lines over. And if we show you back here, this is where I believe it was 6 milliners. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 older milliners, close to 50 years old. We're back here. And you can't see very well, it's not very well lit up, but you can see the old concrete drain trough that was built in. All this is being torn out. This is all being torn out. This will be the rear wall of the new laundromat when we're done. And if you come back here real quick, I'll show you all this excess area. So that's a rear door that goes out the back of the car wash. This is where our water heaters will go eventually. It's not where the old water heaters were. And this wall here is going to be the front of our customer restrooms. We're going to have 2 ADA compliant customer restrooms, and the restrooms are going to be recessed back into the wall back here. And then we'll just be left with like a 3.5 foot aisleway for people to walk. So let's go back this way. So that's roughly 1/3 of the store. I'll let you take a look in there at one of the restrooms. That'll be coming out, obviously. I can tell you that I moved to Amelia, Ohio, where this store is located, when I was in the 6th grade. And I don't know how well we can see it, but if we can get a shot of that back wall where it says Amelia Cleaning Center. That logo was on that wall, and those milliners were there 35 years ago when I moved to Amelia, Ohio. So I guess you'd call it a classic at this point, but I do remember when we moved here, we were waiting on our washer and dryer from the move, and we came up here and did laundry a few times as kids with my parents before our washers and dryers showed up. So this is the middle section of the building from outside. And over here was where their seamstress worked. This was all stored for dry cleaning, and I think it's pretty much all been removed, but if you look up here at this green thing, that's one of the racks from the dry cleaning rack. They had one of those racks, and I don't know dry cleaning, so if you do, don't pay attention to my language or my verbiage, but what that is one of those assembly racks that goes up into the roof, into the rafters, and it would circle back around and drop back down. And it would basically get the dry cleaning, all the dry cleaning would be hanging up in the rafters so that it would save storage space and floor space. This up here is more of the old retail area. This is for hanging your dry cleaning on. And I think that this was their plexiglass barrier for COVID, I'm assuming. And we won't show you, but on the other side, this piece of glass, it's not even plexiglass, this piece of glass is duct taped to the wall. But if you see, all the lights are removed, there's electric hanging down. Luckily, they wire nutted it all off. But I basically told them we're going to demo the place and they could take anything they wanted in here. And we negotiated them removing all the machines and everything. So there's still plenty of demo work to do, which we'll be getting started on real soon. It's a little warm in here because it's like 85 degrees today and there's no heating or air conditioning in here. They've removed it all. We're putting all new HVAC in here. It's all being resized. And if you come over this way and kind of, if we can get a shot back that direction, basically this is going to be the far corner of the laundromat when we're finished. So right now, 1/3 of the building is laundromat. It's roughly 3,000 square feet, which is just where we just were. And it's basically going to be pretty close to 6,000 square feet. This right here is all going to be demoed. That wall used to go front to the back of the store and they've already demoed a lot of that. And basically it's going to be coming, the laundromat is going to come all the way over to this block wall right here. So that will be, this will be about 6,000 square foot of laundromat space. This office and storage will be demoed. All of the HVAC you're seeing up high is going to be demoed. A lot of it's already been done. This was their office, which will be demoed. And this over here was kind of their employee break area. So they had their tables, microwave, refrigerator. All right, let's go back here. So this was their utility room, which apparently the lights are flashing, so hopefully that's probably a little annoying. This was their utility room. This had their water heaters, huge storage tank, but it also had their boiler system. It had their steam system, which you can see all the piping up here, because we're now into the far right third of the building, which was the actual dry cleaning plant. So you can see all the electric on the wall, and I negotiated having them remove all of this because this isn't going to be a dry cleaning plant. And for those of you that are wondering, yes, we also negotiated them removing all the dry cleaning equipment in the front, which I'll show you in a minute, which included the phase 2. So they did all the cleanup of the perk and all that stuff too. So let's go take a look at that. And so we're heading back over to the far right side of the building if you're outside looking at it. And this was the dry cleaning plant. And so this is pretty much how I wanted it, a blank slate for the most part. But this was crazy. They had dry cleaning equipment here that was probably 50, 60 years old. It was kind of crazy, rough area for sure. But they did a fantastic job cleaning it up. Right here to our left is where the shirt washers were. For those of you that don't know, that's a regular actual washing machine. It's a commercial washing machine that they used to actually launder the stuff that got laundered and washed versus getting actual dry cleaned. Everything you're looking at right now, all this block wall and everything, this concrete pad, this drain trough is all being demoed. And if you look up above, see everything that's insulated up there, that's from their steam presses. So that's their steam boiler that went back into the utility room we were just talking about. And it comes out into this room and you can see where they've demoed it all. I mean, it's not all gone, but they've demoed all the equipment and we'll be finishing removing that stuff. But that's probably original to the building, I would guess. And you can see up front there where they boarded up one of the windows. They removed that window so that they could get a bobcat in here to remove this equipment. And then they asked me if we wanted them to put the window back in. And I told them they could leave it like that because we have the window, because we're going to be bringing a bobcat in here for some of our demo and maybe even a backhoe, I'm not sure. But all the HVAC vents and everything you see is all going to be demoed back here. This far right portion of the building is going to be our production area for pickup and delivery, drop off laundry. They'll be able to process back here, but it'll be basically roughly 3,000 square foot of employee area that's secure and away from the self-serve laundromat. So we're going to be moving a good portion of our production from our Mount Washington store over to this store once this store is finished. If you look back here in the corner, there's even a small garage door in this little hallway. And basically this corner is now the outside of the mechanical room that we were in earlier that was empty. And that goes out to the rear of the property. The property is like 1.76 acres, I think. And this roll-up door actually goes out back there so we can load and unload from this side of the building without interrupting our self-serve business at all. So there is a method to the madness. There is a lot of work to be done, and we're going to be starting demo on Monday. But hope that gives you a little bit of a insight into the place. We're pretty excited to get started on it. Like I said, this has been kind of a 10, 11 year vision for me. So I'm pretty excited about it. And we'll be sure to bring you guys more videos as we're doing construction and remodeling the place and everything like that. So hope you guys enjoyed this. We'll talk to you soon.